Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Jordan Peterson recently went on Piers Morgan Uncensored and, well, he went after the likes of Andrew Tate. We'll get into exactly what he said in just a moment, but before we do, I want to let you all know of the Woke Dingbats t-shirts. If you haven't already gotten one, why in the world are you waiting? You can get yours right now. The link is available in the show description to make it easier for you. Yes, I do ship internationally. And from today all the way to the 14th of April, you can go in the running if you order a Work Dingbat t-shirt to win a free signed copy of my book. One of you will win it, I should say. So why in the world are you waiting? Go and get yours right now. And for those of you that have already ordered a shirt, I'll get those out to you end of April, and you should be receiving them, hopefully, depending on where you are in the world, beginning of May. So thank you for your patience and thank you for your support. All right. Turning our attention to the likes of Dr. Jordan Peterson, he went on Piers Morgan Uncensored recently, and he said this about modern men and the likes of Andrew Tate and where we would go if young men are looking towards Andrew Tate.
I've been struck to the core over the last 6 years as my influence has grown to see just exactly the scope of demoralization among young people. I'll talk about men first, all around the world. And also, Pierce, hurt as well by the observation that many of these young men can be set right with not much more than some truly encouraging words. And, you know, that exaggerates the pain because the problem is deep and the solution isn't that complex or difficult, and you don't need that much of it. And so, and you know, I warned back in 2016 about this assault on masculinity. I said, you people, you keep pushing, you're going to find out. You think strong men are a problem. You wait till you produce weak men who are resentful and bitter because of their failure, and you're going to see real trouble. And you're going to see people turn, well, and this is happening to some degree because one of the most popular influencers in the world among young men is Andrew Tate. And I wouldn't hold out much hope for the West if Andrew Tate is the direction that young men go in, because he's a bad actor right to the core. But the thing about someone like him is that if you're weak and dependent and demoralized by your culture, let's say, and you've fallen into that isolated trap, someone blustery and successful on the surface and aggressive, you know, and dominating in the power-mad way that Andrew Tate is going to look pretty damn attractive compared to your infantile dependency. And the other thing about that, Pierce, is there's some truth in it, because it's actually better to be a bit of a monster than a complete bloody lamb.
What Jordan Peterson said in that video with Piers Morgan is 100% true. There is this assault or attack on masculinity at the moment, and I've spoken about it as well. You have a lot of these young people that are confused, a lot of these young people that are angry, and Jordan Peterson said in the video, watch what happens when you produce weak men, weak, frustrated men, and then you'll start seeing a lot of issues. Times have changed quite considerably, whereby young men are struggling now more than ever. Young men are demonized. They've got no direction, no compass in where to go. There's so much confusion out there in the world, so many messages saying to them that they are toxic. Masculinity, the thing that they actually have within themselves, is toxic. Imagine telling a young kid, a young boy trying to grow up to be a young man, that wants to be respectful, that wants to value himself. And that is something that Jordan Peterson has helped many young people do. Be respectful about yourself. If you have respect for yourself, then you're going to have respect for others. If you are a disciplined young person, you wake up, you make your bed, you do things that are structured and routine, then obviously that is going to correlate to how you act in life. How you treat other people, how you treat yourself first is how you will treat others. If you're treating yourself with disrespect and you're beating yourself up all the time, how do you think you're going to treat other people? So by this very message that Jordan Peterson is trying to teach lots of young men that feel helpless out there, and it's actually really sad because I am a man and I am thankful for the men that I had growing up because they're the ones that helped me. I'm also thankful for these strong women that were in my life that taught me right from wrong, how to treat a lady properly. And then I'm also thankful for men in my life that also taught me how to act as a man. That's important for a young child. Young people, if they don't get that, where do you think they're going to turn to? They're going to turn nowadays to the internet. And so many young people are turning to bad actors, bad influencers that parade themselves out to be like they are good influencers. They're putting on a facade, this persona, this mask over themselves and claiming to be something that they're actually not really. And most likely, a lot of the young people will go, I want to be just like them, because what they're saying speaks to what that young person is actually going through. Hey, I was just like you. I was lonely. I was depressed. I was miserable. And now, instead of making my bed, instead of having some self-respect for myself, get angry, become aggressive, become dominant, go after the thing that you want and treat that thing with, well, I'm talking about that thing being a woman because that's exactly how Andrew Tate talks. Treat them with disrespect. They are your property. You own them. Instead of being respectful, instead of treating the woman like she's a queen, instead of having a nice conversation with them, not being domineering, not in the slightest. And then you've got these messages that say the masculinity is now toxic because of the likes of Andrew Tate. No, masculinity is not toxic at all. There are a couple of bad individuals that claim to be masculine, but they're anything of the sort. That's not what real masculinity is. A real man will always show up, be selfless. A real man will be disciplined. A real man will know when to engage in a fight and when to walk away from one. He will know how to de-escalate one rather than start one. He won't allow his anger to take the better of him. He will control his anger. Those things are taught when you're growing up. If a young person is not taught that, what do you think is going to happen to them? They're going to lash out because they've got no idea how to control them. There's no sense of discipline. There's no sense of control at all for the young person. There's no, and sure, young people, and I was guilty of this growing up as well, sure, young people are allowed to get angry, but never to lash out at another person. And controlling one's anger, it is so necessary, especially in today's society. Young men are also sexless nowadays too. Don't know if you already noticed that. Well, hookup culture has created this very vicious spiral, but the level of relationships gone down. So yeah, young people, a lot of them are sexless because they're too afraid of what's going to happen because the woman has all the power now. The woman can accuse the man of doing something he hasn't done, and therefore the man's life is over with. So trust has been broken in the public. And if a young person is going, well, a woman is accusing me of something I haven't even done, how am I supposed to live? Why would I even want to go there? And so they turn to avenues like pornography, for example. The dating market is screwed up. They've got an app telling you now where to meet somebody. So you're telling me an app is going to dictate who I'm going to be with, where I haven't actually met them before in person, but yet an app is allowing me to talk to them with no actual real connection at all. And we're going to set up a meet and a time. And then when you finally do meet, there might not be any connection at all. Instead of going up to the person that you may have seen in a coffee shop, for example, you like the way they look and you start a conversation with them, and there could be some real connection there. You're actually engaging straight away with energy and connection right then and there. But you know what? Women are too scared. They get freaked out. Oh, you're a creep. I'm old school. I'd much rather go up to a person that I see and that I like and go up to them and start a conversation with them. And if I get rejected, I get rejected. Here's what it is. Because you know what? I grew up with this attitude that it's okay to ask. My grandfather would say to me, don't be afraid to ask. If you don't ask, you don't get. I live by that. So yeah, sometimes I may be afraid, but you got to put the fear aside. And now the way that I live is a lot more confident in myself, who I am as a person. And I don't care if I get rejected. I don't care. It is what it is. Move on. But we need to teach that to young kids. And that's something that Jordan Peterson teaches. His book, 12 Rules for Life, and then Beyond Order. They're important books. And if you compare Jordan Peterson with the likes of Andrew Tate, totally polar opposites. Although lots of people seem to think that Jordan Peterson is responsible for the red pill movement. Lots of people seem to think that Jordan Peterson is an issue for men. He's not a good role model for men. Well, let me just say this. From what I've heard and what I've seen from Jordan Peterson, he's a lot better role model than so many of the role models that young kids look at. Myron Gaines, for example, and the likes of Andrew Tate. Two individuals that I wouldn't consider good role models for young people one bit. Andrew Tate has been accused of a number of really heinous crimes. And I've seen videos of him saying things, and that's the problem. You should not be idolizing or even thinking that that is what constitutes a real man. You should be very careful, young people, if you're watching this. And I know that my audience members, a lot of you are in the older demographic, and I love that. You guys wouldn't have to have faced what I have to face today, and it's really a shame. It's shocking. A lot of this started after the Me Too movement, but it's just gotten progressively worse. And we have so many young people that are confused, they're afraid, and they turn to other avenues like pornography, which is not a good option at all. It is bad. It destroys your life. It's sad. So many young people are ending their life tragically because they don't know. They've got no hope. They've got no direction, no compass. And that, for me, like, it's why I wrote my book, to help people. I went through the same thing so many young people are facing at the moment. So many. And if I had, and I'm glad that I did have, someone reach out to me and help me the right way, encourage me, listen to me. If I had all that, which I did, and I'm thankful that I did, at a young age, because I know so many don't, then maybe their life would change for the better. Maybe. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.